mute our audio for the Discord. The following content is not safe for children. I found a subreddit.
God.
So I was looking at tabletop terrain, like homemade like tabletop terrain people make, and somebody made like a mimic that was a wall, and like it was just this hole with a bunch of teeth in it. And the top comment was, "Don't put your dick in that subreddit." and then another one said, "But it looks so inviting." And then the next comment said, "So put your dick in that after all?" Question mark. And it was the
What the
subreddit link.
fuck?
So I was like, okay, now I'm curious. And I got on there, and it's literally just a bunch of vaginas IRL. The lettuce one was my favorite.
Yeah. I was gonna say the lettuce one was pretty good.
That Lissy. Oh, man. 2 people are watching the debauchery unfold in audio only. Or listening, I guess.
I think it's probably me copying the link over.
That's all. We're showing for ourselves.
Yeah. We'll raise our own viewership, okay?
It works. Get you trending, you know.
Yeah.
Boom. I'll even watch myself on Twitch. I'm not above it.
Oh, fuck. It's only gonna let me do one of them at a time.
Oh, man.
Cheers.
What you shooting over there, boy?
Gin.
Oh, God.
He did that yesterday, too. I don't know what has turned him into this old man who drinks gin shots.
Oh.
Good gin?
I guess. Works. Are you also wearing a band t-shirt, Chris?
No.
It's disappointing.
I'm wearing a Dragon Con t-shirt.
If you're wearing a band t-shirt, I was going to run over to Abby's drawing and draw a band
Draw a
t-shirt.
band t-shirt.
Wait, Haley, are you wearing a band t-shirt?
Yeah, it's a Grateful Dead shirt. Do I listen to them? No. Is it a comfy shirt? Yes.
I'm wearing my comfy Rush shirt right now, yes.
Oh, okay.
Chris, just in the middle of the live stream, just takes his shirt off for everyone to see.
Oh, you pastiness.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if people are ready for that.
It couldn't be any worse than the pastiness that I and Abby saw over the week at Disney. I promise you.
I can only imagine.
It was real soggy because it was at Animal Kingdom. It was 85% humidity. It was like being in a sauna.
God.
Oh my god.
And it rained after that. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, what a time. It also is really fun to wait an hour and a half in line only to be told that you're too tall to ride this ride.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
They had a seat out front, but because the line was literally wrapping around Animal Kingdom, there was no real way to actually like take time out of your day to go try it out. So I just got fast passes and called it a day. I waited an hour and a half for a fast pass.
Jesus.
But it made it all worth it because we got on Rise of the Resistance. Suck it to all you people who stood in line at Rise of the Resistance only to be told to GTFO.
So, how long is the wait with a fast pass?
Depends on what you're getting on, because some things allow you to have a fast pass. I'm going to switch over to our live scene now. Oh, look at Abby in all of her glory.
Literally, the cold, dead eyes are what get me.
Like a doll's eyes.
Like little hollow circles.
Abby actually got kidnapped on It's a Small World, so we're just waiting for... I'm waiting for Papa Walt to send her back.
To be returned.
She's just singing there with all the other dolls.
She's either there or she's on the Three Caballeros ride. And
oh my god.
I'm hoping that it's the latter because at least she has a little mariachi band to hang out with.
Instead of having to listen, it's a small world.
After all.
Well, that's what they use to lure you in and to just brainwash you the entire time. Is you have to sit and listen to that on loop, even when there's no one coming through the ride.
Lord.
No, we didn't go to Magic Kingdom, but to answer your question, Chris, with a fast pass, it depends on what you're riding. So for us, we immediately got off Avatar and was like, hey, we could ride the other Avatar ride that's here. It's only a 50-minute wait. But then we're like, oh shit, fast pass, instant line. Got in on the boat. So we technically got 2 rides for an hour and a half.
Nice.
Not bad.
No, they need to do the virtual queue system though. Because that for Rise of the Resistance, even though a lot of people don't get to ride it, is the only possible way that ride will ever work. And no one can tell me otherwise. Just because of how it works. But enough about Disney. Let's talk about the spooky. I mean, Disney is spooky. We could probably do a whole spooky episode about Disney.
Spooky Disney?
Spooky Disney. I think there's a bunch of YouTube channels that do that already, though.
Yeah.
Defunctland.
Yeah, Defunctland's great.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, guys.
Hello. Hi.
It's been 2 weeks? A week? 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Since we last spoke. Abby is unfortunately occupied in Disneyland.
Yep. Abby is there. I see her.
Oh yeah, totally. Legit.
She looks a little off today, but she's there.
She's actually having a great hair day, despite
Yes. Yes.
It's on point today. Did you guys upload anything to the drive?
I didn't have anything to upload. I just had like the one picture. Everything else I had was either too dark and beyond editing, or that was it, because we didn't have an audio recorder and we didn't do any videos. So.
Yeah, the only thing we had when we did this investigation was the photo camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, oh man, we had just 3 pieces, because we had the EMF, the one audio recorder that I intended to return the same exact week, and your all's camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, howdy ho, gang. It's been a week, like we said. We're going to talk about the first investigation we ever did today. The good old Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Also, this photo is actually a really nice photo of Waverly from whenever this photo was taken.
So this is like really high res for the types of cars that are sitting out front, and it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange photo for sure.
Possibly the most haunting thing about Waverly Hills is this photo.
Maybe. What if watch this just be someone come in and be like, that's not Waverly. That's what I'm waiting for. This is the backside though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the actual front entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the front, Tom, not the back.
Sorry, I just at this point is the current back of the building, because you don't come in that way.
Yeah. We were watching Destination Fear, because they came out with their new episode today.
Oh,
and they
went in that way.
Yep. And we had a whole conversation about it, and I was like, where the fuck are they going? And Haley kindly informed me, they're going through the front door, you fucking Neanderthal.
Yeah, but didn't they say that the front door
Not say it like that. Well, apparently you can. They opened it right up for them.
Those lying sons of bitches.
Well, I mean, when you got Discovery Channel money, you can take in the Discovery Channel door.
I'm going to start calling it the Discovery Channel entrance.
So just take us to your Discovery Channel entrance, please. We'll pay you $20.
Let's just slide that over.
Oh my god.
Well, that's interesting. Is it a good episode?
We're like halfway through it. But so far it's good.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All I have are EVPs, so I'm going to assume most of this will just be talking about this entire experience.
What happened? Yeah,
And,
I think that's fine.
Yeah, Chris, I think I'm gonna leave the fun little EMF detector thing to you since you had the most interaction with it.
Okay.
But yeah, do we need to talk about Waverly, as in like what happened, what it is, or is it just like at this point, it's the most famous place probably at least in the paranormal community, I would say, or at least in the top 5.
I honestly believe anybody who is watching our channel is going to know what Waverly Sanatorium is.
Yeah.
That's kind of the feeling that I get.
Yeah.
As always, if you guys hear anything or see anything in any of these clips that we were gonna play later on in the show, just like comment in the little chat bar there, or if you have any questions you want to ask us or anything like that, we'd be more than happy to answer them. Do we want to announce the giveaway winner, or do we want?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's do that right from the top.
Haley, who was our giveaway winner to get a decal?
Our giveaway winner to win a decal was Alan Bridgman. He is one of our followers on Instagram. And if you're watching, you will be getting a decal mailed to you sometime this week, since half of our crew was at Disney last week. So,
1/4 is still there.
Yeah. Abby's not coming back. This will be our first and our last decal. But we will be sending that out to you at some point this week, so be looking for that in your mail. And thank you for everyone who liked and commented, and hopefully we will be doing some of these soon again. We also do have a Facebook group now, so maybe we'll be doing something with that in the future to get people over there as well. Thank you and congratulations.
Absolutely, thank you. We had a few people that were engaged in it, which we also hit 100 followers on Instagram, which is neat. We finally hit that milestone. And our friends over at the History Told by Idiots channel just had their Ross Opera House investigation this past weekend, so we look forward to hearing and seeing what they have caught as well. But I guess let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So we'll talk about our first great experience at Waverly Hills Sanatorium here in the big old city of Louisville.
So before we get too deep into it, something I was thinking about, I think something we might want to talk about before we get into the what we caught evidence-wise is maybe some of the differences between the first time we ever went to Waverly versus the most recent time. Like, not as a group, obviously, but I don't know, Tom, if I don't remember if you had said that you've been before, but me and Haley have certainly been before.
Yeah, that's actually a great, that's an awesome idea. I've only been once. Abby, that was her first trip going. When I went, I just did the 2-hour tour that they offered. I was 12, I think. I was young. I was a young lad. And my aunt had taken me and my cousin as a Christmas gift, which I loved. He hated. He's like, "Wow, this is garbage." But I was super into it. She had bought the good old, you guys know the white EMF readers, like they're really big long ones.
Yeah.
Like the stereotypical paranormal ones you find on like eBay. She had bought a whole bunch of those and got really excited about it.
Oh my gosh.
And I guess you would say this was my first like paranormal investigation, quote unquote. And it was a fun time. There wasn't a whole lot that happened. I mean, it was just the guided tour, so obviously there was no like going off on your own or anything. They did the whole like walk down to the end of the tunnel and just hang out there for a bit and see the shadow people, or not tunnel, but the hallway, and see shadow people and stuff moving around. And we scared ourselves with a Skittles wrapper because we walked into the operating room and it was dark and we didn't have a flashlight on at the time. We were just walking through. And we turned the corner and went in the operating room. There was just a big old red like thing on the floor, and the first thing my aunt said was, "Oh my God, is that blood?" And she turned on the flashlight, and it was a Skittles wrapper.
Oh my God.
Fucking terrifying. So yeah, that was my
man.
Waverly experience. It's not crazy. It's just it's very very little. But you guys have been a couple of times, right?
I went once before this time, and I think Chris, you went once before
Yes.
too, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so we've only been once too. But we did. I think you did too. The overnight, like we did this time.
So last time I went, I only did the tour, same as Tom did, the little 2-hour guided tour. But the stuff they told me on the tour, like about the building, was different from the stuff they told us this most recent time.
Mm-hmm.
Like about some of the prevalent hauntings.
Yeah.
Like, so the shadow floor was the same. They brought us up, I think it was the 4th floor. You know, they had no lights on in the building, and we went a certain way down the hallway and sort of just like looked down the hallway and all that stuff. But they didn't. No, that was the 3rd floor, and they would not take us to the 4th floor due to a dark spirit being there. Is what they told us. And then we went up to the 5th floor, and then they we didn't even go down to the 1st floor at all. Not at all. And they definitely didn't mention the whole spirit in the entryway.
Yeah, if I'm trying to remember, we went to the tunnel. I don't know if we walked through the. No, we entered the tunnel from the outside.
Same. Or we went through like the gift shop to the entrance near the tunnel.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's how we did it too, and I don't recall them talking about anything like dark on the 4th floor when we went. I think we did the 4th floor, but again, this was 14 years ago, so I could just be blanking it.
No, I distinctly remember because they specifically told us that we're not going to go onto the 4th floor because it's the hallway where the homeless man and his dog died or lived. And they sort of looped it into that whole thing, and the guide was just like, "Oh yeah, we're not going there," and it terrified me.
Oh god. But no, whenever I went, I'm actually trying to find like what year it was. I think it was like 2015 or 16, somewhere in there. But I went with my friend Amber. We did an overnight. They did tell us, because me and him were talking about this earlier. I'm pretty sure whenever we went, the dark spirit in the 1st floor was like a newer thing that had started happening. I remember them telling us like people had been like smelling eggs and having issues with something kind of dark and not very friendly that was scratching them. But then we also got to go, which this time too, just to kind of caveat everything, we were going on a night, and usually there's only 30 people on the tour. Their ticketing system had messed up, so we ended up with 60 people this time on our tour. So there's a lot of stuff that we really didn't get to do or get to do as well as we wanted to. But this was also our first investigation too, so it's different. But the time before, we got to go into one of the electroshock therapy rooms. And there's a certain spot where you lay on the floor, and if you lay there for a while, you get like this burning feeling underneath of you. So we got to do that. Last time somebody had a like a spirit box with them too. It was or something similar that had also been on our tour group, and my friend Amber and I got to lay like in the actual like where they would store the bodies at, and it said I think both my name and her name while we were in there, but we got to do that as well. Trying to think, there's that hallway on the 4th floor where you see all the shadow figures when people walk down. We got to do that and see that, so that was pretty cool. I think that was it, but it was neat. It feels like they've changed their tour and everything a lot, and there's certain parts of the building that are open now that weren't before whenever we went there, so it was kind of cool. So it was neat.
Yeah, I think it's also a little interesting too that we went. I'd be curious to know how 2020 was, because when we went, they said that things had been far more active recently than they had been in the past. When we went this past time, and obviously with the pandemic and everything being Waverly what it is, that kind of seems to line up with, that could have some kind of correlation there. I mean, we got a lot of stuff, even though we didn't get to, like, actually do it as well as we wanted to, and we had 60 people, and we had some sketchy characters hanging around, to say the least. We had quite a bit happen, I would say. A lot more than I anticipated. And also, Waverly's just a huge building, so it's one of those places where you could go 10 times and have not seen all of the places in the building.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. That's a good point though, that things have changed a lot with the tours over the years and the different stories and stuff. Because there's, I mean, it being, like I said, a big building, there's bound to be tons of different ghost stories going on.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, the one, and actually, you know what? That's a good point, Chris. Specifically, when we went, they didn't say that the homeless man was pushed. They said that he had just fallen down. So when we went this past time, they said that he was pushed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I think whenever I went last time too, I don't know if it was like something with like police investigation or something that they found out later, but they mentioned that they thought that some of the kids around there had pushed him down. So I think maybe there was an investigation in that time or something.
That makes sense. That's a more recent one too, because obviously it was when Waverly was open for like haunted tours and stuff. Because if I recall, none of the other like famous paranormal teams that went there, there's only one time I think they mentioned the homeless man and his dog.
No, he died before Waverly became like the haunted tours place. It was just abandoned when he died.
Oh, okay.
Because they let him stay there on behalf of keeping the riffraff out.
Yep, you're right. It's weird how all this changes over time, but also remains very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who wants to jump into their first experiences, or do we have anything else that we want to talk about with past experiences?
Good on past experience. I'm trying to think what even happened first. It's been like so long ago. Where did we even go? It's like the first. I think probably so. Not like anything chronological, but the thing that sticks out the biggest to me was hearing the dog pant, because you could hear that while we were there, and that was really freaky to me.
It might be easier if we just go by floors. Because the first one, the fifth floor, that's easy.
Yeah, no kidding.
So the fifth floor has like this. If you guys are familiar with Waverly, you know the room 502 and the nurse that allegedly hung herself and all that stuff. We were up there and we had nothing happen at all. Like the entire time we were on that floor.
We got cold.
We did get cold. It's true.
We did get left.
We did get abandoned by the tour group. That was true.
Yes, we had a moment where we thought we might have slipped into the movie Grave Encounters.
Yeah. Also, don't watch that before you go.
Or do. Make it atmospheric.
Oh my god.
Me and Tom were digging it. We were just like having a grand old time. We were like, we should take advantage of this and do some investigating.
For sure.
And Haley and Abby were like, no, let's get the fuck out of here.
What the fuck?
I mean, in their defense, the fourth floor is advanced darkness. It is just a pit of despair when you get in there and there's no... Because obviously Waverly has its only natural lighting when you're in the building. With the exception of the room where they have everybody meet and the gift shop. There's no electricity like in the building that actually is turned on because obviously exposed wires and all that nonsense. And it's like an 80-year-old building at this point. Actually, it's a 100-year-old building.
So I think it's older than that.
Actually, it is 110 years old.
110-year-old building.
It's old as shit.
Yeah,
I have the Wikipedia page pulled up right now, actually.
But with it being that the only lighting you get is moonlight, and so when you're on the fourth floor, it's not, the fourth floor doesn't have as many of the big like open bay windows as the third floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the third floor has most of the sunrooms and things.
Well, the fourth floor was a lot of private rooms for, I guess, the richer or more the sicker patients, maybe. And then it also had the operating suite.
Yep, at the end of the room, or at the end of the hallway there, closest to the main stairwell.
Yeah. Whereas the third floor has the big balconies with the open air walkway.
Actually, the fourth floor is where 90% of our stuff comes from, with the exception of we had 3 main hotspots in the building, with the fourth being the major one. When we first got to the fourth floor, before we were abandoned, we each went down. We split into groups of 2, and we basically went down opposite ends of the hallway, and covered both ends of the floor. Abby and Haley took the eastern side of the fourth floor, and Chris and I took the western side. And this was before I had figured out really how to use the voice recorder a ton, so this was in the stage of recording literally everything, and also using it for super hearing. So Chris and I were walking down the hallway, and he could have swore, he's like, hey, do you hear somebody, like, he checked behind us, and he's like, did you just hear somebody walking behind us? And I'm like, yeah, kinda. And he's like, did it kind of sound like boot steps? I'm like, yeah, that's basically exactly what it sounded like. And we realized that Abby and Haley, we were the only ones on the floor at that time. Everybody else was still up on 5 or on 3, one of the two. And I think I have that clip. We can play it. Am I forgetting anything about that event, Chris?
No. No. Because it sounded exactly like boots walking behind us. And it was even, like, gritty. Like the door. Or like, no. Now I'm trying to remember. It's been so long since we went. Something's... I couldn't remember if it stood out to me because it also had the dirt sound in it, or because it did not have the dirt sound in it. Now I can't remember.
Well, I have the clip, so we can listen to it.
Let's listen.
I didn't hear it, but I heard the motorcycle. I didn't hear it, but I heard the motorcycle. It's real faint, but it's in the background, because you can hear the main steps are us just walking, which you can hear the dirt slide under our shoes as we walk. But in the background, you can actually hear like what sounds like boot steps on concrete. And Chris, I think it's the opposite. Now that I'm re-listening to this clip, I think it stood out because there is no dirt sound.
Yeah, it sounded out of place.
Mm-hmm. So it's right at the tail end of this, so it might take a few listens. I didn't hear it. I heard the motorcycle. I didn't hear it, but I heard the motorcycle. I didn't hear it, but I heard the motorcycle. Yeah, it sounds like 3 distinct. It sounds like 1, and then there's a pause, and then it's the 1, 2 right at the tail end. It's weird.
It is.
Because we heard it with our ears, and we caught it on voice recorder, and we immediately like went back to we turned around and started walking towards Abby and Haley, and we're like, that's when we realized they were at the other end of the hallway.
Yeah, because I thought maybe that it sounded clear enough, because the recorder didn't do it justice. It sounded so clear, I thought there was somebody behind us.
Yep. I mean, I wish I had a pair of my like work boots that I had, but it basically just sounds like it's on concrete. And Haley, did you and can't remember if you guys had said that you did see like the big shadow guy.
We saw. So I don't know what it was. We were looking down, like towards, because it was whenever we started to turn around to come back towards you all. And we were looking down the hallway, and both of us kind of like sat there and were like, is it getting darker? Because, I mean, it just kept like, I don't know, it's almost like telescoping like black towards us. We were like, this is a little freaky. So we went out towards the main little walk outside and walked out through there for most of the way back and then came back in and it seemed fine. But I don't know if it was like they call the spirit that's up there, it's called like Big Black. It's supposed to basically like block out all the light from the hallway, block out all the light in front and then back. And then if you ever see it, they tell you to go out to the breezeway because it's not a good spirit. But I don't know if we saw that or if we saw something else, but it was weird.
Spooky. For
Spooky.
sure.
And then in terms of other shadow figures too, when we were on the 4th floor and we were doing like because before they let us kind of go on our own, we did like a brief little rundown of each floor. And when we were on the 4th floor, they were kind of giving us the gist of like all the things, going over like the creeper, which is like the shadow figure that allegedly like crawls on the walls and the ceilings and stuff, which is supposedly an aggressive spirit. But when we were in Big Black and some of the other things, when we were going through, we lined up against the walls, and I was like, okay, this is like the notorious floor for shadow figures, because I remembered it from whenever I was a kid. And so I moved all the way to the main end, and I just stared down the end of the hallway where nobody was. And I wish I had Abby here to kind of reenact it, because this doorway behind me makes a really good example. But basically, I was staring down the end of the hallway, and there was just the light coming in from the moon outside. And so there's just enough light in the hallway to kind of light it up to where you could actually see in front of your face. And as I was staring down the hallway, I saw what looked like if you saw an outline of somebody or a shadow make a step, and it was just like their legs were like this, and all you could see was the light in between, and then the light coming out this way and being broken, and then the light here. And then I saw it walk from one room to the other. And I kept staring at it, and now every time we go somewhere, I try to recreate it to see if it was just my eyes playing tricks on me, or if it was actually that. But it looked like somebody just walking, from room to room, just one step, two step gone, which was super weird too. I don't really have an explanation for that one, other than it could have just been my eyes. But like I said, I've done it at every other place we've went, and I haven't seen anything like that either. So who knows?
So, by the way, I found just a YouTube sound effects video that perfectly recreated what those boot steps sounded like to us as we walked along. That's the link I put in the chat. On Twitch.
Oh, yep.
Okay.
That's actually that is good job. That's perfect.
Yeah, that is exactly what it sounded like to me.
So I'll play it again. So this is what everybody can listen for. And then I'll play the other clip from, because we also caught it again when we were doing our EVP session in the room where he stayed.
We did.
The homeless man stayed. So. Are you gonna play for me now? Refresh the. There we go. Because I didn't hear it, but I heard the motorcycle. Because I didn't hear it, but I heard the motorcycle. Yeah. Especially now that you know what you're listening for, it sticks out a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is on that same floor. I don't think, did we have any other like visual things that we saw that happened on that floor? I know most of everything we have now is from the EVP sessions.
Everything I experienced that night was auditory.
Yeah.
I never saw anything visual.
You know, other than the thing blacking out, that was pretty much the only thing that we saw. Other than that creepy doll, I don't remember if that was on the fourth floor or the third floor.
So on the
The thing was freaky. Was it on the first floor?
third floor.
Third floor.
It wasn't on the first. It was in a patient room.
Yep.
Oh my god, that thing was creepy as hell.
Yeah, and I just stumbled across it. How great was that? Walk into a room.
Hey, weren't you sitting in front of it and didn't realize it was there?
Yeah, because I walked in, I turned on the light, and it gave me a heart attack. So then I was like, "Hey, Tom, I got something you might want to see." And I just let him organically discover it for himself again. But turns out there was a chair sitting right like against the wall that this doll is embedded into.
Yeah.
I wish one of us had taken a photo of that to put up on the stream.
I probably do on one of the memory cards, just because there's no way that I didn't see it and not take a picture of it. I'm sure I have a picture. I don't have it uploaded though. But basically, there's a room, and I forget which room it was. 306 maybe. I don't know. Somewhere in that range. And like Chris said, there was a chair just sitting in there, and I walked in. I was like, huh. I don't know why, but I want to like do an EVP session in here. And there was also a chair, so maybe my brain was just like, oh, there's a chair. You should sit here and do an EVP session. So
Maybe it was the doll.
Maybe it was the doll.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the doll literally nailed to the wall, because they do a haunted house in Waverly, so like it's just remnants left over from that. But it was nailed to the wall, and I sat down in the chair, and literally the doll was on my back, and I had no idea. It was just hanging out there, just chilling while I did my whole EVP session, and then Chris comes in and goes, I'm like, huh?
It's creepy.
Yeah, just
It's so creepy.
it's so much worse knowing now in hindsight that it was just hanging out there the entire
Just
time.
chilling. Like, hello, Tom.
It's just like, you trying to do an EVP session, you little bitch? What if you turn around and you gonna shit your pants?
Can you imagine turning around the doll staring in your face?
Yep. That did not happen. I would have died. For sure.
Like how badly I jumped when I saw the doll, like, and I was standing several feet away from it. I probably would have fell out that chair at least.
I would have probably freaked out. It would have been a whole thing, I'm sure. Especially me, being as clumsy as I am already, I'm sure that would have went beautifully. Destroyed our $100 or $200 voice
recorder. I can't return it.
Now you definitely can. Look what it's like when I bought it.
Smashed, crushed. It's almost as if a 300-pound man collapsed entirely on top of this voice recorder. Yep, sure does look like that. It's real weird.
It's real
strange. You guys would sell stuff like this.
Thanks a lot, Best Buy.
Oh my god.
But after all of that, on the fourth floor, we also did. So the fourth floor is allegedly where the homeless man and his dog were pushed down the elevator shaft. They stayed in a room behind the elevator shaft on the fourth floor. So whenever we all met back up, we decided to do an EVP session in that back room. Well, we caught, on the way into the room, we caught not only on audio, but also audibly we heard what sounded like a disembodied like dog panting. There's no way that it was coming from, like, because it was right next to us when we heard it.
It sounded like there was a dog up there.
Mm-hmm. But this is what we caught in the hallway, and you should be able to barely hear it. Well, I heard that. again, some of these EVPs and some of these voice recordings we have is we didn't really know what we were doing with the voice recorders, so they're not as loud as they probably should have been. But it's obviously it's just before I say, well, I heard that. You can kind of hear it faintly in the background. It just sounds like a dog going. Well, I heard that. And that was just in the hallway. And then this one's loud. This is when we heard it during our EVP session with William, who was the homeless man.
In his room, right?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that one's absolutely audible right there at the beginning for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that was definitely, I mean, you heard us all reacting to it. Like, it sounded like it was right here next to us.
Yep.
That one was weird. And we also got, I think I'm going to play all these from my computer since they seem to be a little louder. We also got boot steps when we were doing William's EVP session in that back room, which I will play now. Is your name William? Is your name William? That one's pretty loud too. Is your name William?
So, yeah, you can definitely hear that.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing that we heard just walking behind us. And actually, it's the way we were facing whenever we were doing this, because this is when we were finishing our EVP session and getting ready to walk out of the room. That was when we turned and we were noticing the light fixture that was above us that was like, what the heck is that hanging down? Because I almost ran into it because I'm a giant. So it's coming the same direction that we were when we heard it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of lines up with both of those scenarios.
And just like the one we heard out in the hallway, you don't hear the grit from the walking. Like in the first recording, I couldn't actually hear. I had a hard time hearing the boot steps in the first recording we listened to because it sort of was lost in our footsteps. You could just sort of hear it there, just that odd footstep that didn't have that same crunch, and you could hear it just then and that too, where it's just it doesn't have that gritty, dirty sound to it.
Because I mean, being a giant old 110-year-old building, it's just dirt obviously is everywhere on all the floors, especially with everybody walking through. Let me see if I can play that other one and make it louder, because I didn't hear it, but I heard the motorcycle. Because I didn't hear it, but I heard the motorcycle. But yeah, you can definitely hear a distinction between the boots walking behind us and the grit on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's all that actually happened on the fourth floor. Everything else, we tried to interact with the spirit of the young child by getting him to move some cat toys and some of the little balls. We didn't have any luck with that though.
Yeah, we've I think we've done this to most of the places that we knew that there was going to be children, potentially ghost kids at, where we have this cat in frame behind me, and she has these little balls with the bell in them. So figured, we could bring that along, and if we hear it move. We don't even have to be in the same room. We just have to listen for a bell. And if we hear a bell, well, shit, the ball's moving. So we haven't had any luck with that.
Yep. I think it's only happened, we've only brought balls 3 times. No, twice, because the library already had some.
It's like, 'cause we took it to Rose and we took it to Waverly.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you smirking over there when I said we brought balls.
It's the humor of a 12-year-old boy, okay?
Trust me, we were having, per the conversation earlier, we all do.
That's advanced humor, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
It's sophisticated.
It's Lucy level humor.
Lucy level. Let's see. Then we went to the 3rd floor. We didn't have anything happen. The 2nd floor, I don't think we had anything happen either. Apparently, someone on the 2nd floor had the door slam in front of them while we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a story.
Jelly.
Yeah, and then somebody apparently. Do you guys remember that really weird?
I don't know what the fuck that picture was. I don't think it was anything, honestly, other than a concrete statue under a light.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in that picture.
Did you guys see the most recent one that Waverly caught though?
No.
Was that like the misty one?
The one with it's like red all around it. Here, I don't know if I sent it. I didn't send it to the group. I'll share it with the group now.
Yeah, it looks like one of the exit lights, and then there's like a mist.
Yeah, it's this one. I know it's professionalism in its entirety here, with me showing my iPhone screen on a webcam.
Whoa.
Only the most advanced electronics over here.
All right, Tom, stop that right now. Tom, cease, desist. Hold on a second.
It's already stopped. I already stopped it, okay?
We're out of lag, Chris.
Just delayed.
Why don't you send it to the group, and one of our more advanced Android users can actually put it on their screen?
Well, give me a gosh darn minute. I don't use my mother sent it on Messenger, so I don't have the Facebooks.
Facebook.
There you go. It's been sent. You know, I guess I could just do this too. Nope. Is it gonna work? Hey, there it is. Boom.
Is it the background now?
It's not. No, it's not the background. I just opened up the Facebook page.
Oh, gotcha.
So apparently there's nobody here, but they caught this, which this is on the 3rd or the 2nd floor, I believe.
I mean, that's pretty distinct.
Yeah, that's wild. I wish we had caught something like that on camera. That'd be crazy.
2 legs, some terrifying face with looks like a hole in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a weird one for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have an explanation for that, but I also wasn't there. So
Are they sure that there's not somebody there? Because that thing has a shadow.
Yeah, they said that that there was nobody there in the photo, and this wasn't something somebody shared on Waverly's page. It was one that Waverly actually shared out. So I don't know. Again,
it does look like it has a shadow. That's weird.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, do we know for certain that ghosts don't have shadows?
I mean, you're not wrong, I guess.
That would depend on entirely how their body's actually composed and
how
would
sick that ghost is.
Yeah, and how it would interact with light wave particles. Whether they could actually block anything.
Welcome to the Spencer County Spooky Squad Sunday Show, where we talk ghost theory. In today's
ghost
episode,
thickness,
ghost physics. Do they have shadows? Let's find out.
Are they dummy thick? Maybe.
Do they prefer Lucy or Bussy? Find out now.
And is it Jussy?
Lord God.
Jesus Christ.
Only the most sophisticated humor, as you said, Chris. Only the most sophisticated. But now we get to talk about Chris. Would you like to talk to everyone about our wonderful I'll leave this to you guys. You both can talk about our wonderful experience in the morgue with the EMF reader, which is probably one of the most exciting things that we've ever had happen.
Yeah, that was actually really neat.
It was super cool. In case you didn't know that it existed, like I did not before we were shown it on the big overnight tour, there's a morgue, or a former morgue, there in the Waverly here Sanatorium, that now presently has like a few caskets in it from their for their haunted house thing. All the caskets that are there are not tied to the building. They're all donated or bought. That being said, it was a morgue, so who knows how ghosts work anyway? So maybe there's somebody haunting that shit. So we went and investigated it, and we were using the EMF radar, and it went nuts in this room, like absolutely nuts, and not even uniformly nuts. Since this was the first time really using it and first time getting anything out of it, I felt like I kind of tried to go out of my way to find some pattern to how it was going off, because it seemed to be centered around a particular casket. Actually, it was even the casket that when they did the tour, they told us seemed to have some activity centered around it. But they didn't know where it came from. It was donated to the hospital or donated to their, company for whatever reason. So they don't really know what the story is with the casket. And the EVP or the EMF went nuts around it, and you would stand there and it would go nuts. And I distinctly, there was one point I remember saying, "Okay, can you step away from me and make this thing stop going off?" And it stopped going off. And then I was like, "Okay, can you make it go off again?" And 30 seconds later, it went off again.
You even went to the other side of the room, because like when you were doing it,
Yeah.
you were standing in this one spot where you had the EMF reader like this, and you didn't move, and you just asked it like the standard questions is like walk, you can walk away from it, make it stop beeping for no, you can walk towards it and make it start beeping for yes, and then you asked it to follow you to the other side of the room, and you walked over and you was like, okay, now come over, if there's someone here, make this go off again, and it just started going off on the other side of the room too.
Yeah. No, it definitely seemed to give us responses to it. And I also remember going through and putting it up to every surface I could think of in that room. And there's no spot I found that would uniformly set it off. Because it set it off at one point, and then I'd pull it away and pull it back, and that spot wouldn't set it off anymore. So
It was weird.
that was wild.
Yeah, that's probably, as far as like EMF reader goes, that's the most compelling. That and the one time we had it go off at Ross were the two most like crazy things. But that one at Waverly was just, that's some next level stuff. For sure.
And you know what? We didn't have a video camera at the time, so you got to take our word for it.
I mean, I have
we have audio.
I'm not gonna make someone listen to 25 minutes of EV or EMF recording. But you know what we could do? This is a good use. Haley, I will send you that audio clip, and you can upload it to our Facebook group, and whoever wants to listen to it can listen to it.
If you would like to put yourself through 45 minutes of sirens on high def audio, please be our guest.
So, by the way, we have a Facebook page now. I don't think it's been mentioned in this thing until just then. We have a Facebook page now. So, if you're watching us and you want to listen to, was it 25 or 45 minutes of us fucking around with an EMF reader, go check out our Facebook page. Or if you don't want to do that, go check out our Facebook page anyways, and then just don't play that.
Actually, hold up. Side note, I do have a 6-minute clip.
Oh, shit.
But the main clip is 25 minutes. And so, I can play the 6-minute one. If we want. It's called Casket EVP Session Intelligent? ?
Intelligent?
That's how you know that I was just figuring all this stuff out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna listen to that. It's very. You have to listen to it with 7.1 headphones, or it's just all in your left ear.
Jesus.
So yeah, we'll upload both of those and let you guys listen to it. We'll upload it to our Facebook group.
Yeah. Which all you have to do on Facebook is search Spencer County Spooky Squad. We're the first one that pops up. It's a public group, so anybody can join it. And feel free to post stuff in it. If you hear anything, see anything, if you want us to go anywhere, if you have questions in general about us, feel free to post in there and talk to us.
And as we think about it, I feel like that is a good spot for us to dump evidence that we find and we present on these shows. Like after the show, we'll start putting evidence there so that you guys could also review it at your leisure and maybe tell us, hey, you guys didn't talk about it, but did you hear that ghost telling you to fuck off and die in this one thing? And no, sir, I didn't. Thank you for pointing that out.
The same energy that the one who told us nothing was next at Rose Opera House.
I would imagine it's the same energy that the ghost in the bottom of the library gave us.
Yeah. Get the fuck out.
Being all sassy.
Speaking of bad vibes, so we didn't get anything on the second floor. That leaves the first floor.
Yeah, the first floor was after the morgue. The next place that we went was what I would describe, if you turn out all of the lights and you stop talking, is exactly what hell sounds like. Just it is just an empty void. In that empty void resides, or I guess that empty void is the body chute at Waverly, which is probably its most famous attraction? ? I don't know if that's the word I would call it. Most
area.
I mean, there was
locale.
There you go.
Yeah.
There was a movie made about it. It's like this
point of interest.
There you go. Say that. That is the place, and if you're familiar with Waverly, you already know this, but that's the place that they would take any of the deceased. They didn't want to haul them out in front of. They didn't want to have hearses coming and going all the time, because when tuberculosis was at its peak, they were pulling bodies out of there and putting bodies in basically at the same rate. So for every ambulance that would come up, you'd have another hearse, and it'd just be constant. So instead,
turns out that's bad for morale.
Yeah, if you see a bunch of people dying of the stuff that you're gonna get, it's not a good look.
I mean, if you're at Waverly, it's the stuff you have.
Yeah, that's true. So they would park the hearses at the bottom of the hill, and they basically had a tunnel that they had used for supplies at first to bring stuff up from town a lot easier. Now it was used to slide corpses down to get to the hearses. When you're in there, it's almost a mile down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it takes you from the top of the hill, because Waverly sits on the top of a hill, basically. It's like one of the tallest hills in Louisville. And it goes all the way down to the bottom where you can access like the main roads and everything. But the whole area is just bad vibes. Did not pass the vibe check in the slightest.
No.
When we were in there, we were the only ones in there. And
yep,
I thought it would be a great idea if we just walked about halfway down, maybe a quarter of the way down, and just stood in total darkness with this superhuman hearing from the voice recorder, and just kind of see what we catch. Turns out that was either a great idea or a terrible idea.
Fucking terrifying idea.
It's a great idea if you're not the one who has to do it.
Yeah.
It's true. I can't believe I almost went in there alone.
Yeah, no.
Because
There's no way in hell.
I didn't know if you guys wanted to go and hang out for a bit, but I was like, man, if they don't want to do that, then I kind of really want to just go and hang out in the body chute for an extended period of time and try and see if we hear anything. But while we were there, there's going to be 2 clips. One of them, I have no idea what it is. It's just some really faint noise in the background that we didn't actually hear, I don't think, in real time. But it kind of sounds like, not necessarily a scream or a wail or anything, but just like an echo of some kind. And there was nobody else other than us 4. And
it was an echo of the past.
Oh, you cheesy bastard.
Fuck up.
History echoing throughout the tunnel. When you come into the when you come into the body chute, there are 2 really, really heavy doors that you can hear open and close because they're just gigantic metal doors. And so you'll know if someone else is there. The whole place echoes like it's a freaking echo chamber. So if anybody, I mean, if someone at the other end of it farts, it's gonna go through the entire tunnel at high def. So
a ghost fart.
But that we know there was nobody else there other than us. So this is the first weird noise, and then the next one is the best one because we were scared on the next one. But this one's that weird noise. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's anything. I don't know if it's something. But that was when we were walking down the tunnel.
It's a noise.
It's weird. But this one, Chris heard first. And you I think you can hear him in this talking about it. But would you like to describe what you heard, Chris?
There is no describing it. I just thought there was somebody in front of us. Like, that's the easiest way to say it. We were sitting in pitch black, absolute darkness, advanced darkness. I couldn't see the glasses in front of my fucking face. It sounded like and just felt like there's somebody there in front of us.
Like walking up towards, because this is when we were facing down towards the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, which we were all like turned shoulder to shoulder, like turned facing the 2 walls. We were turned facing a wall and we were all shoulder to shoulder. So none of us were moving that would have made this noise or anything like that either.
Yeah. The only thing that you'll hear, because we were taking, Haley was taking photos, and in order to not blind everyone, we would say that we were taking a photo before the flash went off. So you'll hear that. You'll hear Haley say flash and then the camera shutter, but then you'll also hear something coming up the stairs.
Yeah, you can hear that.
Yeah.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Even more so terrifying when you realize that you're just in an abandoned tunnel and the closest people near you are in the foyer.
Yeah. Which was pretty far away, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this part of the building is isolated on the east, or the westernmost half.
If you've ever been, the foyer is separated from the body chute by the admin part of the hospital, which is now the haunted house section, and the morgue and all the other bits of that. There was like a freezer section there too. All that is between the foyer, which was the closest people that we know of to the body chute. And it sounded like it was coming from down the tunnel, from downhill from us.
which there is no access to. You cannot
No.
get in or out of that side of the tunnel anymore. That's why they tell you, if you walk down, remember you have to walk up, because there ain't nowhere you can go.
Yep.
But that's all of the audio and EVPs that I have to share. Definitely our most, I would say one of our most, if not our most active investigation, and oddly enough, the one that we weren't even as much prepared for as we are now.
Nope, we were not prepared for it in the slightest.
No.
We were just 4 friends investigating the spooky.
What could go wrong?
To be fair, though, this was before we decided to do this.
It's true.
This
Yeah,
was
I was gonna say.
Birthday present for Abby, if I'm not mistaken.
And
Yeah.
who's not here?
Yeah. Now, I do remember coming home and walking Max that morning and being sent logos for what would turn into the Spencer County Spooky Squad after that immediately.
We immediately, the name came from being in there. I was just like, I wonder what we could come up with a cool name for this.
Yeah. I'm really glad we didn't go with Tri-County Terror Team, because I saw that one today too when I was trying to go back and find our pictures.
That was on the list. That's true.
It
Yeah.
was on the list. Wasn't a lot of winners on that list.
God, I really wish that we could go back. Do you have that readily available, Haley? I would love to go back to the early stages of all of that. And
Hold on.
just see, we'll have a whole episode, or the last half of this episode dedicated to, here are the really bad options that we had.
Here's our shit logos.
Who was the van that was there?
I don't remember, but we made fun of the name.
You sure did. Maybe.
Oh, that's right, because we were behind them, weren't we?
Yeah.
And that's where we were
It was
like, what if
like-
we just did this? that's
Yeah.
what spawned the idea, was that really crappy van with the horrible.
Do you think we'd be doing this right now if we hadn't come in behind that van?
So, here's my personal favorite with whatever the fuck that face is.
Oh yeah, the jack-o'-lantern face. That one's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Bad Moon Paranormal.
Yeah. Tri-County Terror Team.
Bad Moon Paranormal. Bad Moon Paranormal if you're watching. In the slim chance that any of you are watching. Thank you.
Thank you for being you.
Thank
Y'all the real OGs. Oh man.
Man. I'm gonna have to find a way to hold on. Let me see if I can save these and send them.
I would. One day we'll just make a Facebook post that has all of our really crappy logos and horrible names that we were gonna come up with.
There's a couple that I actually liked, and I thought about putting them on there, and I was like, well, it kind of changes it, but
Maybe we'll if we ever get if we have a large enough following at some point to have a variety of merch, we'll have throwback versions of our of our shirts.
vintage.
Yeah,
Throwback.
Our
This is
classic-
our
That never
vintage
really
shirt.
existed.
We'll call it the Classic Collection, but we'll spell it with K's.
Oh god.
It'll be great.
Oh man. But yeah, that's Waverly. It was fun. I'd go back again. I think it's haunted, for sure. I think we should definitely try to go back and do a private overnight.
I agree.
I would really like to do a private overnight, and I think mainly because we want to get, because we have to have 10 people. We want 10 people that we can just go, screw the gift shop, don't give us the tour. Let's just go through, because when we went and we had 60 people, so I know that it's probably not a good comparison and stuff like that, but when we went, for some unknown reason, and actually it's just because it's a giant tourist trap is the only reason, there was so much time wasted not doing investigations.
Yeah.
I think we spent probably an hour and a half in the gift shop.
Yep.
I mean, it was forever. And I remember too, whenever I went before, they told us if you want to go, come at the beginning, where you can they'll have it open for like the first hour if you want to go in there, but it wasn't like mandatory that everybody went to the gift shop. Like,
yeah.
No. Wasn't a fan of that.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think when we go again, because it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when, because this place books basically the day that they're available.
That messed everything up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. What were you going to do? Were you going to pull up our other logos?
Yeah, I got a way to pull it all up on the on the screen. Yeah.
I think I can just...
Let me, actually.
Hey, will it show up on the stream then?
Oh, that doesn't help.
Actually, nope. She don't.
Oh.
Let's see. I'll get it pulled up. I'll pull them up. We'll go through some of these. Let me pull up the Facebook page again. We'll just go through them.
It's fine. We'll probably post some of them on the... It'll be good, a Facebook post.
That would be a funny Facebook post.
Yeah. Some of the alternatives.
Oh my god. The Chonky Ghost.
Right? And that's the one we almost went with, too.
Why is the Chonky Ghost? I still love it.
You too.
Oh, Chonky Ghost.
He thick.
The flashlight. Oh no, classic content. There you go.
God.
Oh god, that's... Can you imagine putting that on a t-shirt?
No,
Which
that's
one?
a bad choice.
It's your eyes.
Yes.
Oh. This one is just... This is too basic bitch for us. Those O's, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you scrolled right past the one that started this whole conversation. I just realized that.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Because it's the one before the S. At least not for me.
No, I think they're in a different order.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because right now I'm still on Spencer County Spooky Squad. There it is. Tri-County Terror Team.
We didn't want to end up on a watch list, and we all wanted to be able to fly, so we did not go with that one.
The ghost stayed, though.
The ghost did stay.
You just got less chonky.
Listen, say what you want. Chonky Ghost this has a place in my heart. Let's go back through. Tri-County Terror Team. Oh yeah, this is when we decided on our current logo. We thought, oh, what if we just made like a little neon sign? That'd be cute. Then we had the one with the weird E's and the weird T's.
Yeah.
And then that one just hurts.
Chonk. Or at least that's what I can see on the stream right now is the chonky one.
Right, the growling face.
Yeah.
That's all of our vintage logos. Maybe one day we could actually, after this, we should also post all of those logos and just be like, vote on your favorite. Which was your which one did you like the best? If it were, I watched Tri-County Terror Team be the lead.
Which logo are you today?
What's your vibe?
If we got bigger and we actually started selling merch, that is something we should do. Is like sell all those as merch.
Bring back the chonk.
Mm-hmm. Including Tri-County
Terror Squad.
Tri-County Terror
Team.
We decided early on that alliteration was going to be the key.
Like immediately. I don't even think there was discussion about it.
Nope, there wasn't, because alliteration is my favorite form of the English language. And I was going in my head, I was like, what's something really cool we could do that's alliterative? And then I just went through the list. But yeah, Waverly was a fun time. As far as it being haunted, like, if there's a haunted place, if ghosts are real, that's the most haunted place in the United States. I don't think anybody can tell me otherwise. Chris?
Yep. If there's a haunted place, that's it.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I definitely I just saw what you sent. Oh god.
I sent you all the TikTok of him the other day where he said he went over the line and he was like sitting in the bathtub at the house and he's like, "It's me, I'm copying you."
Nope.
Oh my god.
I need to see that.
Gotta have to find it because it's super offensive, but it is so fucking funny.
Chris, do you have anything for tech time this week, or should I be the tech time person?
I forgot about tech time.
Tech time. Fuck, I forgot about tech time.
Tech time.
Come here and I'll give you. Come here and I'll give you some tech.
Well, I'm about to get up, and you're gonna get to see a little look into what goes on in the background here, and you'll notice that the thermometer and the walkie-talkie are still on the desk.
Oh man. In the meantime, while we wait on tech time with Chris, oh, he's back. He's back already. What tech do you have today for us, Chris?
So, the tech I have today, despite its appearances, is not a taser. It is a H1N audio recorder.
By Zoom. Please sponsor us.
That made the lighting even worse. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll hold up mine. That way you can hear. I just unplugged it from the computer. I'll hold up mine as well so you can see.
So, this bad boy is what we've recorded all of the recordings that you have thus far heard from us on. It is phenomenal. Probably the best piece of tech we have purchased.
The SBC is shocked and appalled. It heard what you said. It has feelings, Chris.
Well, it can get over it because there's no Chad like the H1N. But no, this thing is awesome. It, as we have alluded to several times, while you're listening to it, you can plug in your headphones to it and just listen in real time. And it has this cool little sensitivity meter, which right now is set to the maximum, but it goes through from 0 to 10. 10 being the most sensitive and 0 being the least sensitive. So you plug in some headphones, especially some nice noise canceling ones. You plug it into this bad boy, and suddenly you can hear fucking your heart beating in your chest. Like, it is phenomenal. Not the recommended use for that, as we have discovered. But it is an option. And we have used it as such. But no, it's great. It can stand on a bipod, tripod thingy. And you can let it go. You can turn it on and talk away and forget your worries. For it is recording. Just like the government.
It's a hot take thrown in right at the time. Yeah.
Thank you, Tech Man.
Early on, we decided that most of our equipment should be as little to do with quote-unquote ghost hunting as humanly possible, to kind of keep it as unbiased as possible, because obviously some of this kind of stuff is not like, I have no idea if this thing works. It's really cool, but I don't know if it works.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have, because sometimes it gives us really cool responses, but like most of the best kind of evidence you usually can catch is, or at least the ones that make the most sense, are photos, audio, or just using your own senses, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely recommend a good voice recorder. Is like, if you're going to spend money on something, like definitely either a camera or a voice recorder.
And as you said, we decided early on that if it was possible, we're gonna get something that's not marketed towards ghost hunting. Like, we want the actual equipment. Nothing that might be skewed, which is why we have this, which is just a voice recorder. It's not marketed as EVP. It's marketed as a good voice recorder. And you can actually... Go ahead.
I say there's also like other great cheaper ones too. You don't have to get that one, but just something that you're not searching Amazon for ghost hunting equipment.
Yes.
And it brings up stuff that's obviously not always, but is probably going to be a little skewed.
That's true. Obviously, most any voice recorder will probably work. I'm just harping on this because I have it in my hand, and I know for a fact this thing is amazing. You can actually find a lot of YouTube channels that do voiceovers or audio work will actually use one of these to record their audio. I have noticed.
There's also an extension you can get to mount it if you like to record like on a DLSR camera. You can mount it to the top of that and run your audio through it too. So it has a lot of stuff you can add on or add it to or add on to it.
I mean, it's so good that we have two of them. Like,
Yep.
So this ended up being a purchase that turned out to be worth it. But yeah, I would say if you're going to invest, like, obviously, like you said, Haley, you don't have to spend a ton of money. A tiny little $30 voice recorder will accomplish the same thing. But with the quality and audio that you get out of this, it might be worth it if you're looking to get into doing this regularly, to just spend a little bit of extra money to get something nicer in this department. Don't go out and spend $80 on this when you could go out and spend $100 on this, and this will do way more for you than this will.
Yeah. Just make sure you buy a micro SD with no more memory than 32 gigs.
True.
It does not come with one. I learned that the hard way.
Very true. But I don't think I have anything else for us this week. Oh, actually, I do. We haven't talked about where we're going.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Well, Haley, take it away. Do it. I almost forgot. Look at me.
Okie doke. So, on August 20th, we are going to the Whispers Estate in Mitchell, Indiana, which is what our Instagram winner correctly guessed. So we will be going... I'm pulling up some additional stuff on it right now. But at one point, I think there was a doctor's office that was ran out of it. I think he either adopted kids or there was an orphanage there or something like that as well. There was... What are you doing? There was a fire there at one point, I think, where one of the children died. Some people say that it is a portal. So that'll be interesting to kind of test some things on that. And a lot of people do get a lot of audio evidence, and then a lot of things like doors shutting on their own. There's some people that get like nauseous and things like that as well. So I think it will definitely be a cool place to go. I'm excited.
And this time we're infinitely more prepared than we were for any of our other investigations, because now we have 3 video cameras and 2 audio recorders.
Yeah. I won't forget my camera my camera batteries this time, because I now have 3 of those.
So we're pumped and ready. This is also the first place that we're going that has a few reports of like an actual demonic entity as well. So that'll be interesting. Hopefully it doesn't end up like when we went to whatchamacallit, school, Post Town.
Yeah.
Post Town, yeah.
You know, and what's weird too, after we had that Post Town episode, we were River City Paranormal reached out to us on Instagram and said they just got back from there and had some stuff happen there. So like, maybe we just started going on bad nights between Ross.
I don't know. Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know.
I definitely think we should revisit
Maybe
at some point.
I think so. This is the crystal lady in me. We should start looking up like the moon cycles and stuff too, because a lot of that can coordinate with it. Maybe start planning it around that. Maybe we'll get more info and stuff.
I'll leave that to Abby and you. That'll be
okay.
You guys got this.
Yeah, you could be our resident witch.
Yeah.
I Meanwhile, I'll take the Vatican approach and continue my studies with the University of Sydney's demonology courses.
Yeah, Tom is an online student of demonology now.
Listen, when it's free and the University of Sydney's Catholic Church Division is giving it out, it's not like I'm not going to take it.
Oh my god.
I'm going to continue my tutelage in the ways of Shane.
You're a resident Shaniac?
Yeah. Dear God.
So,
what up, demon?
Yeah.
It's me, your boy.
Your boy.
This is our bridge now, goat man.
Jesus Christ.
Despite what those people on Wikipedia say.
You're not allowed to get possessed before we get married, okay?
I'll try not to.
No one.
Yeah, because if anybody's getting possessed, it's not me. I'll provoke it, and then it's going to be Tom.
Yeah, see, that's how it goes.
Oh God.
If Post Town's any indication, here we go. Part 2.
Oh Jesus.
All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and call it, gang. If you have any, like I said, if you have any questions, you can find us over at our usual spots. We're over on Instagram at Spencer County Spooky Squad. We're also here on YouTube and Twitch, depending on which one you're watching us from. We also have a link tree to all of our pages on our Instagram and YouTube channel as well. And
we have Facebook.
And now we have Facebook, which is Spencer County Spooky Squad on Facebook. It's just a group. It's public, so you can just click join and hop in. And then, as always, if you wanted to support us in any way, we greatly appreciate any contributions that you all give, whether that be through, you can tip us out on coffee. You could also hit us up with either a donation on Twitch or YouTube. Or if you just want to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for all of our stuff, or like and follow us. And if you have some friends who also like the spooky vibes, you can share it out, and we would greatly appreciate it. Obviously, we're still growing and trying to make this pretty regular, so any help that you guys can give in any way is greatly appreciated.
And then it was a good spiel. And then for our next 2-week show, we will have to figure out what we are going to be doing for that. So we will keep you all posted on the socials on what that's going to look like and what that'll be. Because that'll be on, I think, like the 15th. It's the next.
Just before we go to Whispers.
Yeah. So
and
we'll see.
Well, actually, we might be. Haley, aren't you going to be out of town that weekend?
I'll be out of town, but I'll be back before that night.
It might be better if we
just hold off.
Yeah, if we just wait until the Sunday, because our investigation's on a Friday this time, so we should be good to do the show immediately after the investigation, which will be on Sunday. So we could do the 22nd.
Okay.
Unless, of course, one of us gets possessed.
Yeah. In the event, full disclaimer: in the event of demonic possession, future shows may be canceled.
If you guys, if anybody in the audience no longer hears from us ever again, know that we have been possessed. Please send help.
Yes.
I don't know where you're going to send it to. I mean, you could
I don't either.
Generically you probably just send it to Spencer County, and maybe Louisville now that you know that we're in this area, but
Yeah.
I guess just general help, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Send the Winchester brothers after us.
I don't know if that aren't they finished after the season though?
I thought they were already finished.
They've been done.
Oh, I don't keep up with it. I haven't watched this in season 2.
I didn't mean the fictional actors. Or I didn't mean the fictional characters. I meant the actual actors.
Oh, you meant the real people.
The real people.
Yes.
Those brothers.
Send Jensen Ackles to my house, please. I don't need no help, but he can come.
Unfortunately for me, I feel like all I would get is Felicia Day.
I've met her before. She's a nice lady.
I don't deny it.
You take that back.
She makes excellent croissants. Oh, man.
I met her at a Starbucks.
Did you meet her at a Starbucks? Really?
Dragon Con.
I feel like I need to know this story, but also it's probably not a long story.
It's not. Me and my mom were standing in a line at Starbucks looking over it. What turned out to be turned out to be Felicia Day mixing cream and sugar into her coffee. And at Starbucks, and me and my mom were like, "Is that an actress? Who is that? I know her from somewhere." And then it finally. I was like, "Oh man, I think that's Felicia Day. Oh, that's cool." And my dad was like, "Who's Felicia Day?" And we're like, "We think it's this lady." And so my dad goes, "Huh?" And walked over to you